Welcome to Uncovered Biblical History and Traditions, the channel dedicated to lost stories of the biblical past. Discover stories of pre-Christian historical roots, biblical legends, lost church history and forgotten historical characters of faith. It is very helpful if you hit the like, subscribe and share. Help build my channel and let's take a look together into these uncovered forgotten tales. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that an entire nation, millions of people, had simply vanished from the face of the earth. Not in some science fiction scenario, but in actual recorded history. Where did they go? What happened to them? And why does almost nobody talk about one of the most dramatic disappearances in human civilization? I am your host Alan, and today, we're diving into one of history's most fascinating mysteries, the Assyrian captivity of ancient Israel. This is the story of how the 10 tribes of Israel were conquered, displaced, and scattered across the world, never to return to their homeland as a unified people. And in their place, a hodgepodge of foreign settlers who would forever change the landscape of the ancient world. Let's set the scene. We're in the 8th century BCE, and ancient Israel is split into two kingdoms. There's Judah in the south, centered around Jerusalem, and then there's the northern kingdom of Israel, with its capital at Samaria. The northern kingdom, the 10-tribe kingdom, had abandoned the ways of their ancestors, embraced foreign gods, and ignored prophetic warnings. Now, the bill was coming due. The ancient records tell us exactly what happened. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, the king of Judah, which was the 7th year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it, and at the end of 3 years they took it. Even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is, the 9th year of Hosea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Halah, and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord the God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded, and would not hear them, nor do them. 3 years. For 3 long years, the Assyrian army surrounded Samaria, starving the population and waiting for inevitable surrender. This wasn't a quick strike, this was methodical, brutal siege warfare that ended with complete deportation of an entire population. The Assyrians were masters of population control. Their strategy wasn't just to defeat enemies, it was to erase them. They would conquer a region, forcibly relocate inhabitants thousands of miles away, and then import foreign populations to take their place. It was ethnic engineering on a massive scale. But why did this happen? The biblical text lays out the cause with brutal clarity. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam which he did, they departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, literally his forefront regard, or forefront favor, such as is expressed in other places by the use of the words face and countenance, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. The people had followed Jeroboam, the king who established alternative worship centers and led Israel away from their covenant. Generation after generation continued these practices until divine patience reached its limit. God removed Israel from his sight, from his favor, from his protecting presence. The Israelites were marched off to distant lands, to Halah, to Habor by the river Gozan, to the cities of the Medes. These were remote regions across what is now Iraq and Iran. By dispersing them across vast distances, the Assyrians ensured they could never reunify, never rebel, never reclaim their homeland. But the Assyrians didn't leave Samaria empty. They gathered people from across their empire and relocated them to the now vacant cities of Samaria. People from Babylon, Cutha, Ava, Hamath, and Sepharvaim, a collection of conquered peoples with their own cultures, languages, and gods. This is crucial. The land that had been Samaria, the inheritance of Ephraim and Manasseh, the birthright sons of Joseph, was now home to a completely different population. The true Israelites of the Ephraimitic kingdom had been removed. The new inhabitants were strangers to the Abrahamic land grant, foreign settlers with no covenantal connection to the land they now occupied. These people would become known as the Samaritans, but they were fundamentally different from the original inhabitants of Samaria. If you would like further context and the rest of the story, check out previous videos and future videos. If you would like more information where to research this subject, pause this image and look into these resources or find resources in description. If you have book sources or links of your own on this subject, please share in comments or email me. The biblical account continues with one of the strangest episodes in this saga. And so it was at the beginning of the dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord, therefore the Lord sent lions among them which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, The nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria, know not the manner of the God of the land, therefore he hath sent lions among them, and, behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Picture this: forcibly relocated to a foreign land, these settlers suddenly face attacks from lions. The settlers concluded they didn't know how to properly worship the God of this land, and were paying the price. This reveals the ancient worldview. Different lands had different deities who needed to be appeased. The solution was remarkable. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, Carry one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let him go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. The Assyrian king sent back one of the captured Israelite priests to teach the foreign settlers how to worship the God of Israel. But these settlers didn't abandon their own religious practices. Instead, they created something entirely new. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the former Samaritans, Israelites, had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. The men of Babylon made Succoth-Beneth, an idol, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, another idol, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, still another. And the Avites made Navaz and Tartak, still others, and the Sepharvites burnt their children in fire to Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sepharvaim. The old Israelite worship sites now housed a pantheon of foreign deities. The Babylonians brought Succoth-Beneth. The people from Cuth worshipped Nergal. The Hamathites honored Ashima. The Avites set up shrines to Navaz and Tartak. And most horrifying, the Sepharvites continued child sacrifice to Adramelech and Anamelech. The text describes their hybrid practice. So they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, which sacrificed for them in the houses of the high places. They feared the Lord, and served their own gods, after the manner of nations, Joseph, Ephraim, Samaria, Israel, whom they carried away from thence. Unto this day they do after the former manners. This is pure religious syncretism. They acknowledged the God of Israel, they feared the Lord, but didn't worship him exclusively. They maintained their own gods, their own priests, and their own practices, trying to appease both the God whose land they occupied and the gods of their ancestral homelands. The phrase, unto this day they do after the former manners, suggests these practices continued for generations. These settlers and the descendants became the Samaritans of the New Testament era, viewed with suspicion by Judean Jews precisely because of their mixed ancestry and compromised religious practices. When Jesus spoke with the Samaritan woman at the well, when he told the parable of the Good Samaritan, all this tension has its roots in these events. The Samaritans weren't simply northern Israelites who stayed behind, they were descendants of foreign settlers who developed their own distinct identity in land that once belonged to the 10 tribes. Meanwhile, what happened to those displaced Israelites? The text tells us they were scattered, but then, silence. Unlike the Jews of Judah, who would return from Babylonian exile and rebuild Jerusalem, the 10 tribes of the northern kingdom never came back as a unified people. They dispersed, and later spread across Europe and other parts of the world. They're called the lost tribes of Israel. Their descendants still out there, unaware of their heritage. The Assyrian captivity of Israel stands as one of history's great disappearances, a reminder that even nations with ancient roots can face destruction when they abandon their foundations. It's a story of conquest and displacement, of cultural erasure and unexpected continuity, of how the removal of one people and importation of another can reshape a region for millennia. The land called Samaria remained, but the people who gave it identity were gone, replaced by strangers who would create their own legacy. Scattered across the ancient world, the descendants of those 10 tribes carried with them the memory of a kingdom that once was, and would never be again. Thanks for joining us on this journey through one of history's most compelling mysteries. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.